Hi, welcome to our class of today. Today we are going to be looking at HTML tables. This is a Microsoft Word table, which of course, as you know, is very easy to produce. Today we are going to be looking at how to make tables in HTML and MS Word. As easily as this, we can get our table. But in HTML, it's not exactly the same as we have to write our code. And we have been coding for a while now, so we all have a notion of coding. So to start, I'm going to go to the tool of today, which is Notepad. Open my Notepad. I want to increase the font size, so I go to Format, Font. I use the size of 22 in order to make it very visible for the viewer. So font 42. I make it bold, and that's it. So we'll start by writing upon our HTML tag. We are building web pages, so we'll start with HTML, head, title. My title is just put tables and HTML. The title tag, close the head tag. So now open the body tag. I like to use H1 for my heading. H1, make it center, and then say making tables with HTML. Close my H1 tag, close center tag. So that is it. We are ready to go. Begin by inserting our tables. Open the table tag. That's the table tag. Table. Below we have our TR, which is the row. Our table cells, which stands for TT. So while TR produces the row, TD will produce our table cell. So for producing the table cell, I'm going to produce table heading, which is TH. Table heading. I want to make a table of students, their class, students, their class, and their course. So this is TR, which stands for table heading. One heading is student's name. The table heading. Sorry, close the TH table heading. Under TH, another table heading. I'm going to say students age, the table heading. And the last table heading, I'm going to say students course. Close the last table heading. Close table row. Next, and now let's start creating our cells. The first field is student name. So the student name, I'm going to say, for it's an imaginary name, Mark Milan. To the table cell. The second is student age. So for Mark Milan, our imaginary student, opens his own cell. It's a male student. He is just 18 years old. To the table cell. And then our last cell is student's course. So Mark Milan is the table cell. Mark Milan is a history student. Course is history. Close the table cell, and I close the row. And I open next row. Next row. So I didn't open a table row here. I close the table row, but I would now open the table row. Let me put in the next line so you can read my code clearly. Table row, put in the next line. Table cell. Our next student, what name do we give to our next student? We call our next student rows. Just rows. Close the table cell. Rows should be, our imaginary row is 29 years old. Should be tables 29 years old. Our rows is ICT students. CT. What more? Close the table row. So we are going to open a new row. Our next student is Oliver T. Sorry, I have a table row. Open the table cell. Close the table. Oliver T is 48 years old. Forget to open the table. Cells 48 years old. And is CC is engineering student. Okay. And I will close the table row. And after I'm done with my tables, I'm going to close table command. After closing the table command, I am going to close my HTML tag to show I'm done with my web page. And I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it as inside in the desktop, in the lessons folder. I'm going to save it as table.html. I've saved it. Now going back to my lessons, I have here table.html. I'm going to open it with my preferred browser, which is Google Chrome. See how effective it is. Yeah, this is what we have done. We have our heading. Remember, I'm making tables with HTML, which was, as you can see, this here it was H1. We put it to the center, making tables with HTML. H1 is the biggest font size. Remember, so we have here H1. It's done in. We have here making tables with HTML. It's done in H1, which is the biggest HTML font, and we'll have it at the center. After we have our student's name, our student age, and student course. Student name we have Paul, Rose, and Oliver. Student age we have 18. Paul is 18 years old, history student. Rose E is 29 years old, and ICT student. Oliver T is 48 years old, an engineering student. So this, now we have our table, and the table is not so clear. People will not exactly know it's a table, so I'm just trying to format our table to make it to be clearer, so people can really understand that it's a table. And then there's one field I want to add, the student's number. So I'm going to go back to edit the table. First of all, let's look at our table. You see, our table heading is bold. You see, because it's heading, so it's bold. So I want to add one field, which is student's number. So I'm going to go to table heading and add one field of number. Then below, I'm going to put the numbers. So I'm going to create one new heading and each new and a new number field for every row. So I'm going to go back to the table. This is my table heading. After the table rows, I'm going to add a new heading, which is a new heading. What my new heading is, I'm going to put student number. Very good. And I'm going to close table heading. So I'm now going to come here after the various cells. This is the first cell, which is Paul Milan. I'm going to create a new cell before Paul Milan, so I'm going to open a new cell, and the name of the cell is student number. Student number. I close the cell. Student's number. So I come to rows before the student name. The student number now appears. The student number now comes for the student's name. So in front of our first student, who is Paul Macmillan, our first student, no, there should be a mistake. TH student number. So here, instead of writing student number is already here as a heading. So before Paul Macmillan, I'm going to instead put 1, 001 as student. That's the number. That's Paul Macmillan's number. I come here before rows. I'm going to open another table cell, and where I put rows' number, which is 002. I close the table cell. So I'm going to come before Oliver. I create another cell, which is, as you know, 003. Close the table cell. So let's save it and run our code. That's very good. It's successful. We have a student number, it's a heading, student name, student age, and student course. Student number 001, student's name Paul Macmillan, student's age 18, history student. Now I want to make my table. I want to format my table and make it clearer by adding borders. I'm going to say student. I go now to table. I'm going to add a single line of code, single few words of code to table. I'm just going to say border equals to 1, and let's see the difference we get. I've now added the border and made it 1. Refresh the page. That is it. I think our table now looks clearer. We have added the border, and we set the border size to be 1 pixel. So it's now very clear. Our table cells are now clearly mapped out for anybody to see. Student number, student name, student age, and student course. That is it. I believe our table is clear, is very clear right now. Now I'm going to format the table a little bit more to add remark. So each student now should have his or her remark, probably from the head of the department. So what do I have to go? What do I have to do? I go to T arrow. This time around it's the last. Number was first. I want the remark to be the last cell. So I'm going to create a new table heading and call it remark. But I have to close the table heading. And now I go to the table cells. I have to add the last cell. For each to have to add the last cell for remark. I go to TG. Now we want to write our remark for Paul. We say he is a very busy and good student, but we are told what comes after but is always more important than what comes before. We say but he has difficulties paying his fees. It will be good if the school can reduce his tuition. So now we have the head of the department telling the school administration that this guy is a very good student, he's very serious, very busy, but having problem paying his school fees. So he or she is appealing that his tuition be reduced. Next, our next student is Rose. So here we have to close the table cell. Our next student is Rose, and what does the HR department have to say about Rose? Rose is a very serious student and has the potential to excel in her studies. That's what Rose's HR department has to tell the school. She has the potential to excel in her studies. Full stop, it ends there. Next is Oliver. Oliver is an engineering student. Oliver is a good student but has so much love for money at the detriment of his studies. Full stop. We close the table cell and we save. Hope everything went on well. And we refresh the page. That is good. This is a mistake here. Instead of remark, I should say remark. Save it. So we have here our student number, student name, student age, student course, and here we have student remark. Well, I'm not so successful in what I wanted to do. I want to modify our table a bit more. As a table border is equals to 1, width is equals to 500 pixels. I want the width to be smaller, not to be so long. So I come here, refresh our page, go. The table width is now been reduced to 500. That is it. So we now know that we can give our table and assign a width to our table. Now there's an issue now. You see now this 001 which should have been at the top has now come to the center. This 002 should be at the top. Paul also should have been at the top. Everything which should have been at the top has now come to the center. The reason being that it's trying to have an average with this remark because the height of the remark is more than that of the other. So it's now trying to balance with it. I don't think this is what you want. We want this information to be at the top, not at the middle. So we are going to go back to our HTML table and add a little line of code. So I'm going to say students, the first TD, which is students. Let me look at our row. The first cell is a number. I'm going to add a little line of code to this table which represents a number. I'm going to say varline equals to top. So I have an activity varline. We have given a property to our varline. We have said that varline equals to top. Let's see what it gives us. Say come here, refresh. Very good. So you see, and this 001 has been taken to the top, but these other ones are still remaining at the center. So we have to repeat this code for all the table cells. I'm not going to type it each time, so I'm just going to copy it. After each stage, I just say the varline equals to top, JJ Paul Mark, I just paste varline equals to top. This where I have a table sort of age, give a gap, varline equals to top. Every table cell I say varline equals to top, varline equals to top. But this one automatically should have been at the top. Yes, okay, it's no problem. Next one, this is another table cell, varline equals to top, another table cell, varline equals to top, another table cell, varline equals to top. We are going to be hunting for all the table cells and saying varline equals to top, varline equals to top. We are going to be hunting for all our table cells, instructing the data to be at the top, varline equals to top, varline equals to top, varline equals to top. So let's save it and see what we get. See how successful we have been in saving every data to the top. We have missed Oliver's age has not been sent to the top. Because Oliver's age has not been sent to the top. So everything is now at the top, and I believe our table now looks better. So I'm going to look at Oliver's age, which is 48. This it here 48. If you have a gap, varline equals to top. That is very good. We refresh our page. I will now have our table in HTML. I'm going to try just to do one last thing, which is just for the sake of formatting. I'm going to change the color of the numbers. I want the numbers to be green. So I go to our codes, look for where the student number is. I'm going to come here and say font color equals to red. Refresh our page. We see that the student number now has turned to red. Normally we should have closed the font, but we didn't close the font, and it was successful. So I now copy this line of code and put it in front of all the numbers. I want the numbers, all the font colors to be red. This is one here, font. The next number is 003. I save it, and we are going to come to the end of our HTML table. All the fonts, all the students' numbers are now in red. That's how you can change the color of any data to any color you want. Thanks very much for these lectures. I hope you enjoy it, and do not fail to get back to me for any question. Thanks again.